start of the year tends to be a time of little work, or no work. So what better time to remind any budding or even established freelancers that we're all struggling, and to share one of my many fails in the world of commercial filmmaking. How do you get work, is the question I'm asked most by people starting out. And the answer, for the most part, is one that will probably fill you with annoyance and rage. Because being over a decade deep into my career, most of my jobs, like 80% of them, come from repeat clients, production companies, agencies, artists, brands and businesses that I've worked with before. There's probably 10 to 15% that comes from a recommendation from a person who works for one of these repeat clients. Then like 4% that comes from someone I don't know, having seen something of mine on the interwebs and they've tracked me down. And lastly, at best, there's maybe 1% of jobs that I've materialised myself from nothing. No contacts, no introduction. They don't know me and they don't know my work. In other words, they couldn't care less. Harking back to the summer of 2020, unemployment is real and I'm thinking, what the hell can I do to try and find some new work? I'm applying for jobs on creator websites, responding to postings on Facebook groups. 2 of such responses became fruitful, by the way. And outside of going large on the DIY, in my plentiful downtime I'm watching loads of classic films I should probably have already seen. One of which was the Shawshank Redemption. And if you haven't already seen this wonderful film yourself, there's a nice subplot where the lead character is trying to get money out of the state to buy books for the prison library.
Budget stretched thin as it is.
I see. Perhaps I could write the state senate and request funds directly from them.
As far as they're concerned, only 3 ways to spend the taxpayers' hard-earned when it comes to prisons. More walls, more bars, more guards.
Still, I'd like to try, with your permission. I'll write a letter a week. They can't ignore me forever.
Sure can. But you write your letters if it makes you happy. I'll even mail them for you. How's that?
He goes on to write a letter to the state every week. Then after some time hounding them, he finally gets a response. Not only with funding to buy books for the library, but with a generous donation of used books to get them started as well.
It only took 6 years.
This got me thinking about persistence. And like all good creators, I decided to entirely rip off this idea. I went to Google to find out who the 5 biggest agencies in the UK were that I hadn't previously had contact with. And for the first time since I was 18, I started to write, pen to paper. And let me tell you, it was tough. Even at school I had child's handwriting, it's just not my bag, but rightly or wrongly I wrote to creative leads at all of these agencies. Week after week sounds romantic, but in actuality I was getting cramp having written just half a page. So I made it every few weeks. I talked and rambled absolute but I made note of what I'd said to each individual, so our conversations would be personalised. And I thought if I just carried on hounding, eventually some of them would look at my work, and if I could convert just one of them into a new working relationship, then I'd be laughing. For the next few months, every few weeks, I sent a letter and even postcards. And did I get a response? You're f***ing right I did. The Chief Creative Officer of Grey herself emailed me. But after I'd responded to her, trying to convert that into a coffee, which might have led to some bonding, which might have led to some progress, which might have led to some work. Nothing. I'm not writing any more letters. My brittle hands just aren't made for it. But that's not to say that you shouldn't try your own attention-grabbing ideas in order to land new clients. Just rip off your own film. The Shawshank Redemption is mine, and it didn't work. For more of my career fails to make yourself feel better, check out this $275,000 job for Bacardi that I lost. And if you still haven't, make sure to subscribe for a return to more semi-helpful tips and interesting insider industry knowledge.